Okay, this is La Follia for cello. Just a couple things to point out before I play through for you. At the beginning, watch that shift to second position. So we start in first position, and then that fourth measure, the C, is marked with a third finger because I want you to shift up and put your third finger on that fourth finger tape. That way your first finger falls right across the string for your F natural, and then when you have to play the C to the C sharp, 3/4, they're already set right there. And then in the next measure, you'll move back to first position so you can get that second finger on the B flat. At B, when you get here, you want to keep your bow a little bit more in the middle than in the lower, and you almost want to put a little break at the end of each note. Because that will help all the other instruments very clearly hear the beat. At F, you have this down and then 2 notes in a pressed bow with the rubato rhythm. So always try to start from the balance point and pull to the upper half on that first quarter note so that you have the rest of your bow for the up bow. 1, 2, and 3. Fast, slow bow. Fast. You want to try to pull it fast but without a lot of weight so that you aren't accenting it. At G, just be careful you have that same second position shift like you did at the beginning. And then when we get to H, you will have this with the violas, and this is where you have a double down, so a lift at the beginning of each measure. So that first quarter note, pull it really fast, then lift your bow and let it ring while you lift so you can make sure you're in time for the next set of eighth notes. At J, we split. The people playing bottom, you are playing exactly what we played at the beginning. Shift, second position. So this is nothing new for you. So when I play the recording, I will play the top part at L. So just to talk through that, the top L, we play second position. So where your fourth finger normally goes, we're going to put our second finger. The fourth finger will land on the tape for E, and then first finger for C sharp. So our first 2 measures brings us to our third measure, which is the one with the grace note and the trill. So we start on the D with our second finger. The grace note gets played by the fourth finger. Then the trill is 2 to 4. And then the last 2 notes is a C natural to a D, which means our first finger that was just on the tape now needs to stretch back. So that third measure of L, 1, 2, 3. It's good to practice it without the grace note or the trill. 1, 2, 3, stretch back. Once you get the hang of that, then we add in the grace note. 1, 2, 3. And then finally you add in the trill. Now in the next measure, after you play that half note, you're going to shift up to fourth position, which means now where your fourth finger just was, you're putting your first finger. Shift back to second position. And then on this open, you can bring your hand back so that you can be in first position for the rest of the song. So I'm going to play through this entire section, or sorry, the entire piece with the metronome. At the beginning, I am going to set it at 68. At B, I will set it at 80. At D, I will set it at 100. However, right now at H, I'm going to leave the tempo set at 100 for a practice tempo so we can all get used to these eighth notes. And then at J, it's very important that your rhythm is very solid because the violas are going to be playing eighth notes off the beat and the violins are going to be playing 16th notes. So it's going to be on the cellos and basses to have a really solid, steady beat here. So starting from the beginning, metronome set at 68. 1, 2, 3. Shift back. Now piano. change this metronome to 80. So here you want to try to work your way and stay in the middle of your bow. 1, 2, 3. Now a D at 100. 1, 2, 3. Now pull on the first bow. Shift up. Now still at 100. Stretch. And then at L, we are back to 68, and I am going to be playing the top line. 1, 2, 3. Shift. Shift back. Take crescendo back to first position. Get ready for second position. Heavy quarter notes. All right, and then I did want to just go back to B in that section for a second and talk through one more shift. So at B, look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures in, and you can see you start with your second finger on an F natural, you have an A, and then the next F natural is marked with a first finger. So you're just replacing that second finger with your first, and then in the next measure, first finger falls on C natural, and when you cross over to the G string, you actually need to stretch. So instead of just reaching over and playing a 3, you're going to reach and stretch. So your second finger should fall on your fourth tape for that C. That way your third finger will be on the C sharp and fourth finger lands on the D tape, so that we can avoid a string crossing during the slur. And then you'll shift back for the B flat.